it is apparent that we got our bags packed and we're headed to the Pacific Northwest. That's right, the state of Washington. And we are going to take a little trip to go see Mt Saint Helens. That's right. Hopefully we will go see Mt Saint Helens. So let's pack these bags, water these flowers, and get on the road. Come along with me, shall you? Says Adam the Woo. Well, howdy ho, good neighbor. We're on our way to Mt Saint Helens, and as you can see, we got our Oakland airport to ourselves. Now here we are. We're looking at the arrival boards and the departure boards, and let's get to our gate. We're looking for gate 31. I'm gonna unclick you here, but today the airport is empty right here. Look at all this, it's empty, empty, empty. So we're gonna make our way to the gate 31. So this gate has been busy all day. So I came down here to show you the contrast. Let's go look. Yeah, we're still filming. There's a button on this selfie stick that gets me every time. It makes me stop filming. I should have my microphone on. I'm gonna go get that on just to make these videos better quality. But before we do that, we're gonna just walk through this. What do we call this? Oakland Airport, Oakland, California. And we're gonna just keep the camera close to the vest, and I'm not gonna talk. Let's just do a little ASMR to gate 31. Wide screen. How much does a muffin cost? $5.25 for a chocolate muffin. And they're not even that big. There's your... Okay, let's keep going. I'm not even that hungry. All this is highway robbery. And we're not even on a highway. Okay, Seattle, Tacoma, that's getting close. That's close, and all these people are lined up. Now we're going to Portland, Oregon, even though we're going to Washington. You'd think we'd be on that one, but we're not. But here at the Oakland Airport, these planes look like These planes look like they're landing on water. I'll show you one here shortly. All right, let's keep going. There's our gate, gate 31. Live it, love it, learn it. Okay, let's wait for a plane to land and I'll show you that. Ready, cut. Perfect place to watch a plane land. All right. Believe it or not, people are still wearing it.
Good morning, Southwest Passenger flight number 2161 Palm Springs is now boarding at gate 25. If you are exiting over or flight number 2161 Palm Springs, please make your way to gate 45 for an on-time departure. Thank you.
There's a creature today? I bet you there's a lot of creatures.
All right, we're gonna go with A31 through 60 now.
Okay, it is apparent when you fly in from Oakland or into Oakland, I'm gonna zoom in, I'm gonna do my best. That is an airplane coming in, and it looks like when you first get here, you're gonna land on that water. So if you're sitting in the passenger seat, you look like you're gonna land in the bay. So it's kind of scary the first time coming into Oakland. It's just all you see is water. Look how low that plane is to the water. So just be prepared when you come to Oakland to land on water. It gets really scary right about here because you don't see the runway. All you see is water. Scary. Right there is where you're landing on water, landing on water. No, no, pull up. Yeah, he's safe. Safe at last. The sickness is real. Let's see, 6 years later, I guess.
Yeah, no, I did check again. I know that I have this one's there.
So we got Oakland Airport and we're checking out the sickness. Okay, let's go. Doors are closing.
Okay, you're up to him.
Dre said you was coming.
Okay.
Yeah. He said, that's my boy. Wait on.
Oh, way. So there's always one.
Come this way.
Oh, look at him. Late. Oh. All right, last one in. Last one in. Last one out. Who survives, who dies? Is it gonna land on the water? Okay, it is apparent that I got the DJI Osmo 5 on. Now I'm gonna get on the plane one last time, but before we do, we're gonna get a bottle of water and call this good. So let's do that right now. I'll use the restroom and get a bottle of water. This is almost, a test to see if this microphone's working okay. We'll find out later. So let's get that water and get on the plane, I guess. How much is a bottle of water at the airport? Let's find out right now. Let's go. One bottle of water. All right. Just a water, please. Oh,
$6.65.
thank you.
And you pay over here, so not the kiosk.
Where? Pay right here?
Right there.
Thank you, guys. $6.65 for a bottle of water. $6.65 for a bottle of water. And there was a tip. You wanted a tip. Everybody wants a tip. All right. Looks like we're getting ready to board here. Let's go.
We are currently boarding.
Good morning. Good morning.
No, you'll put it up.
She won't tell anybody what she does. She won't tell
I let Jensen on the calendar. We just need a picture of where everybody is. We're not going to celebrate.
Okay, it is apparent that I got my Clark Kent glasses on, so no one should recognize me, even in Washington State. Here is the flight seat that I chose to choose in. Yes, the window is clear. I chose that seat back there, but the window was scratched up and I had less view of the engine. But this was, I kind of like the engine view myself. So let's get this bird in the air after all these people get on. Let's take a look. They're all here. All right. Washington State. Mt Saint Helens. All right, let's get out of here. Safely. Time lapse, activate.
Their seats. You guys want to go up there?
Are you kidding? I couldn't. Here. Oh my God.
So let me tell you how to do it. Duck walk sideways.
Oh my God.
Slide your butt into my seat there.
Oh my God.
Don't hit your head.
Thank you, guys.
Bye-bye.
All right, we made it to Portland. I think I'll stop carrying this bag. Ugh. Sorry about that. All right, stopping right in traffic. Always not good. All right, here's your first look at Portland Airport. Well, howdy ho, good neighbor. It is apparent we made it to Portland. That's right, we're halfway to Mt Saint Helens, and we are going to make that trip. If we look hard, you're going to see it is beautiful outside. Well, as beautiful it gets in the Pacific Northwest. So this is what we're going to ride to the rental car and go get us a car so we can ride the rails to the Pacific Northwest. All right, let's go. Let's get out of here. What do you think about that artwork? Wind chimes with no wind. I always wish I could walk this fast in real life. Look how fast I'm zooming past these people. What's she eating? Chipotle. Our Northwest Chipotle. Oh! Almost lost it. Portland International Airport. Well, it is apparent that they're got a lot of wood here in the Pacific Northwest. And you can see they have all these open beams. I don't know if they're going to put sheetrock on that, but you can see the fire sprinklers all the way up through there. It's like I almost need my camera phone to zoom in there, but whatever. Let's keep going. Yeah, I don't know if they're sheetrocking that or if that's open. I don't know what that is. I guess it's art. Pretty cool. Well, if you come to the Portland Airport, plan on walking. Yeah, you gotta walk like 27 miles to the baggage claim and to the car rental. So you definitely get your steps in here in Portland. Yeah, you walk all the way around this airport. It's all because of reconstruction. Yeah. Long way to go. Let's go. Okay, we're exiting and we can't get back in now. We're gone forever. So there you go. The auditorium of the Portland International Airport. And what a beauty it is. Look at this thing. What a beauty. All right. Well, this is not our destination. Our destination is Mt Saint Helens. So let's get a rental car and get out of here. All right. Let's go. Let's go. Oh, we got a piano player. Might as well give him a little camera time. Joseph Austin, a Joseph. He must be camera shy. Oh, now he plays. All right. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Who's following me? Okay, they're definitely laying out some construction over there. Always interesting to see construction at the job site. There's that fire sprinkler pipe. I see it. Yep. All right, time to get busy here. Up or down? Into the bowels of Portland. My bag just got caught. Where are the fire sprinklers? There it is. There it is. You see it. Fire protection, water. All their piping is labeled. Okay, like I said, this makes the walking a lot easier. So they need to put these in every part of this airport. If you're gonna have old people like myself walk miles and miles, you need these things. Now look at these people, they're not even on it. What is wrong with people? Why wouldn't you ride this thing? I don't know. But your legs do appreciate. Oh, she's going for the pass. Going for the pass. Whoa. Slow traffic, keep right. Well, howdy ho, good neighbor. Today we finally made it, that's right. We're here at the beautiful Pacific Northwest, that's right. We made it to a little town called Mossy Rock, where the rocks are mossy. That's right, that's how it got its name. So if we walk down to the lake, which is not that far, you can see that there are lots of rocks at Mossy Rock. Okay, believe you me, but here's where we're staying at this vacation. That's right. We're kind and very lucky enough to stay here in this beauty. That's right. Look at this. You would think we would be staying at something else. I can even open those rafters, which I should, but we even lucky enough to stay indoors inside this trailer Some call it a cabin in the woods. But there you go. That's what she looks like on the backside. Couple, what do you call those? Slide outs. That's right. Couple slide outs with some nice company. Oh yeah, you're always on camera here. So there you go. We made it on the plane. We didn't take a train, but we did take an automobile. Let me go show you what automobile we were driving in. God bless the United States of America right now. If we ever need more patriots, it's me. That's right. So what we drove here today is this beauty. Look at this. We're driving a Toyota RAV. That's right. You've heard of a rave? Well, this is a RAV. Look at that beauty. And this is where we're staying, basically on a cul-de-sac in the middle of nowhere. And if you zoom in, there is the lake. There is a lake over there. So you can see it's, well, I might as well show you the rest of this beautiful street. Look at all the way down there, as far as the eye can see. So there you go. That's where we're staying, at this beautiful cabin in the woods, as they call it. Now, if you come here, you're very lucky because it is so quiet. And if you come here and the sun is shining, well, you're even more lucky. What's in here, you say? Well, let's take a gander. I think there's a zipper here. Let's see if it's still here. It's all tied up. Huh. It's a two-hander. Oh, there she is. Okay, she's still here. Looks like a Ford 4x4 pickup truck. I don't know. All right, let's keep going. Here's the tour. There's the master bedroom with its own. Master bedroom has its own entry and exit, so that's always nice. You never know when you got to leave in a hurry. Now, when I come up here, I've only been up here a few times, but when I do come up here, I always bring, guess what I bring? There's no crows up here, but I bring a big bag of nuts. And I leave a couple right there. You can see right there. That's who I'm leaving them for. You see that beauty? She is a beauty. Or he. You don't know what the gender is nowadays of anything, but let's zoom in on you. So let's see if I throw some more peanuts down there. Here you go, bird. There you go. So that's my nature. So let's just walk you down here and I'll show you what we're doing here. I don't think I'll take you inside just yet because the house is getting worked on. As they say, all the clothes are getting unpacked. But as you can see, as you come down here, it's like a little oasis. That's right. You go from people to no people. That's right. That's why I like this place, because you can get away with no people. And look down in here. That's all cleared out, ready for a fort. Look at that. It's even got some wire down here. But what I really want to show you, I forgot my walking stick. Oh well. Every man needs a walking stick. When you're out in the forest, I'm telling you, you get you a walking stick. I just got a spider in my eye. Hopefully it wasn't a black widow. Now right here is my fort. I have my own fort, and there it is. You can see all the bones that I put on the fence line. And you can see that cross. I made a cross to Holy Jesus, my Savior. But that's it. And you can see the rocks. That's for the body of this last person who came in here and didn't ask permission. So, all right, let's go take a little walk. We're just going to do a small little walk across a non-busy highway. This highway is not busy. It's just, you got to look both ways, definitely, for sure. So we could walk that way or we could walk this way. Let's just try walking out this way, because this is the property's back door. So if we walk this way, you can see that bird is following. He thinks I got more peanuts, but this is a no trespass to keep out. And there is the back door somewhere. Oh, right here. It's supposed to be, boy, it's all grown over. I don't think you can make it out there anymore. Do I even try? I don't know. I don't want to get ticks. I'm gonna have to talk to the property manager and tell him that the access to the highway is not even accessible. But look at those beautiful flowers. Look at those. You see that? Isn't that beautiful? All right. I know the sun's not hitting it right, but there's one in the sun. I think those are called dumbbells. Purple dumbbells. All right, let's see if we can get to the highway via, you know, there's always one way or two ways. There's always more than one way to skin a cat. I've never skinned any cats, but we're gonna see right now if we can skin a cat. Oh, is that the right way? That could be, that could be. But I thought there was a gate somewhere. I don't know. Maybe not. I'll have to talk to the property owner. Look at this, look at this. Look at this. We found it. I knew it. I knew it. You just got to be real careful. Let me turn this camera around slowly. Yeah, I knew it. Wide lens, activate. Look at how beautiful this is. Yep, we made it. This is the path. All right, I just have to remember where I came in. Oh, and I got like a horse fly or something. Yeah, you see the flies? Oh my goodness, the flies. Okay, so I'm on the busy highway I was telling you about. See how busy it is here? All right, let's keep the camera off of me. I hear a car coming. I hear a car coming, let's go. All right, look at this. Look at this. There's what I'm talking about. Told you it was called Mossy Rock. There's what I'm talking about. Mossy Rock and mossy tree. Look at these trees. These trees are all covered in moss. So I wonder if they have a city next to Mossy Rock called Mossy Tree. If not, we need to get on it. Look at these flowers. I don't want to disturb those. You see that? They're growing into the path. So if they're into the path, is that destroying Mother Nature? If they're encroaching the path, I don't know. What is Mother Nature etiquette? I don't know. Look at all the moss in the trees. Mossy tree, think about it. Whoa, look at this deep, this path is starting to get overgrown. Somebody is gonna have to do something about this. I need to get a machete next time I come out here. Machete. So that's what they used to do. I will take initiative. This will be claim Mossy Tree land next to Mossy Rock. And look what I see. Look what I see. I see a lake. Oh my goodness, a big, beautiful lake. I can barely see it through the trees, but we're getting there. Now, half of a trip is the anticipation of seeing something with your own eyes for the first time. So are you ready for this? Are you ready? Okay. Not all these beautiful flowers. Look at all those. We're looking at that. Dun, 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 dun. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. A nice glacier-filled lake. And if you look really hard and can see through mountains, you would be able to see Mount, or should I say Mount Saint Helens. Let's give it a proper name. It's not just Saint Helens, it's Mount Saint Helens. Now I gotta be quiet because there could be people at this beach. Let's see. I need to start talking softer. Quiet. Nope, I got the beach to myself. And look how high the water is. This is why I never have to worry about finding a walking stick. All right, well, we made it to the end of this video. Look, if I was hungry, I could probably wait till season. There's some blueberries there. Wow. All right. Well, there you go. One trip to the lake's edge here in an undisclosed location. Now, my trip is that way. To the destruction of Mt Saint Helens, the little Fuji, that's right. Tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. sharp, 9:30, the truck leaves. All right, or the train, or the plane. They're all leaving at 9:30 a.m. Well, as always, I want to thank you again for coming along with me to these lake walking adventures and where we're going to stay tonight in a beautiful little, what did we call that? Paradise. That's right, a beautiful little paradise. All right. Well, as always, I want to thank you again for coming along with me on these beautiful little paradise walk, lake, and adventures. You know the drill. Peace, love, and all that hippie jazz. That's called dancing with the sun. Believe it or not, there's a dance that you can do with the sun. Oh, and it just hugs you right back. Oh, man, is it warm up here. Hallelujah, Lord. God bless me, Jesus. God bless you. And thank you again for watching. Bye-bye, everybody. Okay, it is apparent that I told you that I would give you a tour of inside this little, get my hand out of the way. This is that inside of that little cabin that we're staying in. That's right. If you look out the window, that's where we're all gathered out on the porch with all the birds and Mother Nature. But when it gets cold outside, well, this is where we come in and read our books and computers and telephones. But here's a place to eat. This place is probably comfortable for 2 people, maybe 3. 2 people can sleep way there in the back, and then you got the little porch out there that you can kind of congregate in. But yeah, here's the kitchen with a no burner stove. There is no burner in here, so you gotta make your own burner. So, and here's the bathroom. So it's got a shower and a toilet. And it's got a big bedroom back there. I'm not going to show you that because that's where all the magic happens. What do you think about that? All right, there you go. That's where we're staying, right here in this little ship in the woods, because this is a deli, or a deli. What do they call that in a ship? A galley kitchen, or a, yeah, the kitchens where they're tight. Whatever, you know what it is. Okay, there it is, the inside of a love cabin. Mirrors everywhere. My goodness. All right. Life is better on the lake. Oh yeah, there is a lake right out that window and right across the street. But you already saw that. All right. Don't forget, Joy Cool channel. You know it. You know it. All right. You know the drill. Peace, love, and all that hippie jazz. Bye bye, everybody. Air conditioning, too? Wow. Well, howdy ho, good neighbor. It is apparent that I made it to the Pacific Northwest. That's right, Mount Rainier. Mount Rainier? How dare I? That's Mount Saint Helens. You knew that. You knew that all the way before I even got here. But there you go. Let me pick you up and I'm going to show you how beautiful it is up here. But the part that I had a problem was finding this place because it is so remote. But as I gradually point you up into the air and then grab you back down here, let's go look at this beauty. There she is, the beautiful Mt Saint Helens, the volcanic eruption. There's a storyboard over here that I'm going to show you. But I am surprised that a lot of these trees aren't blown down. I think that happened on the other side of this mountain. But it says the landscape has transformed. So this used to, let's back that out a little bit. Yeah, where I'm standing used to look a lot different. So that's what people were saying on the internet, that this has definitely changed. The trees, what these trees you're seeing today are new trees. These trees are, believe it or not, are not that old. But you can see that that thing just bolted out the side of the mountain. So if you were standing here in the May of 1980, around 6:30 in the morning, this thing would have blown right at you. And I'm going to do a little zoom in, and you're going to see just how big that mountain is. The camera does not do it justice. There's actually a cloud that's looming over the top of it. So that thing has its own little atmosphere up there. But boy, is it such a beautiful day, we can see it. So here's what happened. On that day, this volcano, normal volcanoes blow up and then come back down on themselves. This day, that volcano blew this way towards the north, and it really just absolutely devastated this landscape. All these trees were blown down. And you see what I'm standing on right here? This could be that ash. So I don't know. But these trees are gone. So they've cleaned up a lot of this. But that side of that mountain is what blew off. Wow. They say there's still a crater up there, still active. So I don't know. So we did come all the way up here to see the Mt Saint Helens eruption aftermath. And you can see, here's a good example of some of these trees that have just been devastated by termites and other. So there you go. We got it right here. You can almost see the lava flows coming down the mountain right there. So it is like one of those things. I got some more visitors coming out. I'm gonna put the camera behind me. You could probably see there's some visitors coming. So Mount Saint Helens erupted in 1980 in May, and this whole community was transformed into something you'll never see again. In my lifetime, an eruption blew up. That is just, and I was only 11 years old at the time, and I don't remember it being that big of a deal until I got older. Just like everything, history becomes more fascinating to me when we get older. So here you go. Look at all the beautiful landscape that has actually come back. For a while, there was nothing here. This was all barren land, ash and soot. So wow. That's all I could say. This place is kind of like the Grand Canyon. You travel all this way to see it. And there's not much to do when you get here, but look at it and gaze at it and make a little video. But these trees, what you're seeing on the ground, are not from that volcano. There was actually nothing left. They replanted all these trees. So you could see that's probably volcanic rock. Believe it or not, I am standing on volcanic rock right now that blew out of that mountain. So I don't see any big boulders like I was expecting to see, but I don't know. There is a path, so maybe I'll lock up this trail and we'll go for a little walk here. But like I said, it's like the Grand Canyon. There's not a lot to see when you get here. But that beautiful mountain, I would still come here. But you know, I was under the impression that I was going to go to an observation deck. So I don't think I'm at the right part of St. Helens Visitor Center. I don't know. I definitely got to see it though. But it's not the part of the mountain that I thought I was going to. Oh, look at that shade has gone off the top of the mountain, so I can do a zoom in there. You can see the glare right off the top of that. You see that? Looks like 3 mirrors up there. Mirrors? Yeah, that's the sun peeking through the beautiful clouds. All right, let's lock up the truck and take a little walk. How about a screenshot? Well, howdy ho, good neighbor. That's right, we made it to the south. That's right, the south side of Mount Saint Helens. I just figured that out, that this is not the blast side. That's right, that's going to be for another adventure. This side is the side, like the dark side of the moon. This is actually, you can barely see the top of the volcano. So on the other side is where the mountain blew apart. So what we're seeing here is a mountain without a top. So on our next adventure, we're going to go see the other side of that. But look at this. This is called the Muddy River. And if you look real close, you could still see the volcanic rock and ash. And it is dry as a bone. So they call it a muddy river, but I don't think there's much water flows through this. And if there is any water that flows through it, well, that ground sucks it up way up there before it even gets to this bridge I'm standing on. But there you go. The south side of Mount Saint Helens. So what I learned today was there's more than one side of Mount Saint Helens. That's right. So if you come to Mount Saint Helens, say north side of Mount Saint Helens. Just don't say any side of Mount Saint Helens or you're going to end up where I'm at, on the wrong side. Whatever. But anyway, it's sight to see. I'm glad I got to see this side first. And I might be here for a day or two. You never know if I go see the other side of it. It's not that far away, but yeah. This is the full mountainside. So you got to see the full side, and it did not disappoint. So someday we'll make it to the visitor center and we'll do the whole shemangle and the whole deal. But here the Muddy River is dry as a bone. But that does look like lava rock to me down there. I don't know. I don't know what lava rock looks like, but that looks like it to me. All right, well, we did it. We came all the way up to the Pacific Northwest, to Mount Saint Helens. To the wrong side of Mount Saint Helens, by the way, but we still made our adventure happen anyway. It wasn't easy, but it wasn't hard. Well, as always, I want to thank you again for coming along with me on these Mount Saint Helens wrong side adventures. You know the drill. Peace, love, and all that hippie jazz. Bye-bye, everybody. Yep, not much water coming down today. Wrong side, right day. Postscript. If you look really hard and don't look into the sun, you are going to see a sunbow. See my hat over that sun? You can see the bow going all the way around the sun. And if you look real close, well, it disappeared now, but there was another bow right over there. Sunbow with a bow tie. All right, you know the drill. Peace, love, and all that. Volcano jazz. Bye-bye, everybody. Post script. Well, it is apparent to go to see the south side of Mount Saint Helens, you are going to have to beware of abrupt edge. That's right, the edges just fall off the cliff abruptly. So if you come to Mount Saint Helens, beware of the abrupt edge. Live it, learn it, love it. Live it. The world famous ape cave. It is apparent that I'm in the Pacific Northwest, and there it is. The world famous ape cave. Screenshot. Okay, the rumor is that the Boy Scouts found this cave, and they call it Ape Cave because they do believe this is where Sasquatch lived, or what do you call that? Bigfoot. So there is the Ape Cave. I don't have any flashlights, so I'm not prepared to go in there. But I can go down these steps a little bit, I do imagine. Let's do your widescreen. Wow. I'm in the ape cave with no flashlight. So just imagine if you're with your Boy Scout troop and you come across this and it goes down further, but I don't have any flashlights like I said. So this is all from lava rock. And there's the bottom of Ape Cave. Wow. Well, you're supposed to have a permit to come in here. And it looks like people do. Oh, there's somebody coming out of Ape Cave. See, they have the flashlight. Yeah, they're coming out of the dark. They made it. So no flashlights. All right. Well, we made it to Ape Cave. All right. With no flashlights, that's about as much as I'm going to see. But it is amazing. Let me get by this tourist. This is another tourist coming down. I'll get out of her way.
Yeah, I'm only going to go to the entrance here.
There you go. So we weren't prepared for a mile hike to the Ape Cave. Look at the following are prohibited in the Ape Cave. That means you cannot bring the fireworks in there and the pets. You can't be smoking and eating food and beverages, and definitely don't be shooting your gums and shooting your guns and your gums. And no fires in the Ape Cave. There it is. So this was a little happy mistake. I went to go see Mt Saint Helens north side, and I ended up on Mt Saint Helens south side at the Ape Cave. So happy mistakes, as they say. There are some people coming out of the Ape Cave. But for privacy reasons, we'll leave them. Yep, there you go. Ape Cave lumber. It looks like the fence were just recently done, or redone, as they say. Okay, maybe I'll take one more walk down into the Ape Cave as far as I can see. Let's see if I can turn on the flashlight. I'm not gonna go by these people. Let's see if I can do the cut and turn on flashlight. Okay, it is apparent now I have the light on. So I'm gonna go down into that cave as far as I can go and see what we can see, okay? So let's go down. I got the light on now. Looks like there's a walking stick, double pointed. All right. Now I have the light on and I'm descending into the ape cave. But I'm just gonna go as far as that gate down there to make it official. Now, like if you come to the ape cave, make sure you have a permit because they want a permit in the park. So, oh, I can already feel how cold it gets in the ape cave. As soon as you get down here, you better have a jacket on and some water because you are coming into, look at this, a gated area. I don't know if the camera will pick it up because it is so dark, but it is wet and it's cold and it smells like ape, and that's where they hammer the ape cave in. Let me clean this lens a little. Hopefully that lens is a little cleaner. Yeah, not too light down here. I can't really show you a lot of the ape cave because I don't have a flashlight. But there it is. And if you listen real close, you can hear it dripping. Yeah, nothing but darkness, but that goes back quite a ways. So, and that is what they call the bottom of ape cave. That could be like guano or bat droppings. I don't know, but it is cold in here. So that gate looks like it does hold an ape in. Now, you got to be a big ape to get out of this cave. Let's just look at the thickness of that. Yeah, if you're an ape, you're not getting out of this cave. But the problem is, guys, the door has been opened and the ape is out. The ape is out, so just beware. If you're in the Pacific Northwest, you already know that Sasquatch lives around here, and this would be a great place for him to live. Wouldn't you know it? You would know it. Look at this. No one would see you here. It's miles off the main road, and there's good eatings. I've seen deer around here. You know you can live off a deer, and all kinds of water, and plenty of birds to eat. So this ape is not going hungry here at Ape Cave. All right, well, this was a happy mistake. We made our way to the south side of Mt Saint Helens and ended up at the Grape Ape Cave of the Pacific Northwest. And boy, what a sight. What a sight. It doesn't get any better than this. Whew, I'm out of breath. Where did my breath go? I'm out of it. Maybe it's the altitude, I don't know. Well, as always, I want to thank you again for coming along with me. Look at all these flowers in bloom on these Ape Cave adventures. Yeah. You better have a good breather if you're coming up here because it is thin air. All right, you know the drill. Peace, love, and all that hippie jazz. Bye-bye, everybody. Yeah, fresh cut trees. That is proof that apes have been here at the Ape Cave. Postscript. All right, before we end the Ape Cave, I'm going to give you a couple facts and figures about the Ape Caves. The fact of the Ape Cave is 12,810 feet deep. And to explore the cave, well, these caves, Trail 239, and there it is right there. You can see, you drop in where we were just at, and you walk down into that Ape Cave, and it goes all the way down.
That's its length, not the depth.
Oh, the length. All right, in the dark you are at the Ape Cave, so look out for the bats and the crickets and the snakes and the mice. All right, and the moss and the bat poop. Remember to wipe your boots when you leave. That's right, before you leave, you give your boots a good little wipe. So you don't want to bring any of that bat droppings home with you. All right, well, there's your final look at the Ape Cave. Postscript over. Well, howdy ho, good neighbor. That's right, it's day 2, and I'm in the car trying to go to Mount Saint Helens. But this is a bad sign. That's right, yesterday I went to Mount Saint Helens on the wrong side, believe it or not. There is no wrong side to Mount Saint Helens, it's all beautiful. But I wanted the blast zone. And I guess they're having, let's look at this, road closures. So there's the first truck barreling through with a load of wood and some campers. So we're on our way to see if we can see Mount Saint Helens. Now this could be a wasted trip, but I was going to come up here next time I come up here, but I'm so close, I got to see this thing. So here goes the traffic, it's moving. I'm going to put this phone down and we'll see if we see the blast zone of Mount Saint Helens. All right, let's get out of here. Road is a one-way. Yeah, this is what they're working on here. Okay, well, let's see what we could see at the old Mount Saint Helens blast zone. I don't know. Here's all your hard workers here in Washington State. It's weird to see white people doing jobs that are usually for the Mexicans. Weird, sad, but true. Okay, let's map blast zone. Blast off. Well, howdy ho, good neighbor. Let's give this video a proper introduction. That's right, this is the second day I'm going up to Mount Saint Helens to look for the blast zone. That's right, yesterday I typed in Mount Saint Helens into my GPS and it sent me all the way to the south side. And of course, the north side is the side that blew up. So I got to see Mount Saint Helens from the south side. But I got some bad news. Let's pick you up. And as you can see from that bridge behind me, well, there's not too many cars going to Mount Saint Helens today because I heard that there is road closures because of landslides. But I'm still going. Nothing's going to stop me. Landslides or even the wrong side of the mountain. GPS. But look at what we're going to see here today. We're seeing remnants. I've already seen remnants of that massive, massive volcano eruption. But here I am. You are on the edge. Look at that. I'm on the edge of the blast zone. You could pause this video and read that if you want. But the eruption here in Mount Saint Helens happened in May 18th, 1980. That's right. About 8:30, or I guess probably in the morning, maybe 6:30 in the morning before people came to work. And boy, was this eruption causing a powerful lateral direction blast. That's right. Usually they go up, but this one went out the side of the mountain. And the pyroclastic flow consisting of rock fragments and highly charged gas, superheated steam, and big old mounts of water came crushing down. And boy, you could see all the trees in that valley were just wiped away. All the green trees you see, that's all new trees. But here is what the blast zone looks like. Look at that. So we are on the edge of the blast zone. And look at here, if you look here at this picture, you can see trucks buried. Wow. So there you go. The blast zone, there's the Mount Saint Helens. It just blasted that way and this way. I wish it showed me where I was at here. But anyway, There's a beautiful bridge. We're gonna go across that bridge right now. On Old State Route 504. This is called the Hofstede Creek Bridge. And look at that baby, how it was erected. That's right. Okay, let's see this big rig. This is what feeds the economy around here. You see that big rig? Yep. He's got a load full of lumber. Hopefully that bridge will hold that rate. Oh, there he goes. Yeah! He did it. I gave him the old pump and he did it. Yeah, something about that. Boy, that makes you feel good. Man, look at that smile on my face. I gave him the old pump. Oh boy. Wow. Makes me feel like a kid again. All right, God bless you, God bless me, and let's go see this Mother Nature. You don't want to mess with Mother Nature, that's for sure. Because just before I get back in that rental car, that's the cruiser I'm cruising around in, a RAV4. But look at these trees that this eruption just took out. All these trees flattened in a matter of seconds. All right. Well, let's go as far as we can go till the road ends. How about that? I'm not coming up here to just sit in the cabin and look at birds. I'm up here to explore. All right, let's go explore. Come along with me, shall you? Says Adam the Woo. I stole that from you. Nothing is yours. Everything people steal nowadays. All right, one last look at that beautiful bridge. So beautiful, I forgot the name of it already. Let's see how good our zoomer works. Wow. Cut. Okay, we're going over that bridge right now. So you can see that it looks like on that mountain they're doing a little clear cutting. I don't think that's part of the blast zone. I think that's how they get all this lumber around here. So when you see all that lumber going down the road, that's how they get it. Clear cut. So a lot of people, the environmentalists, don't like that. You can see right there, clear cut. We need wood. All right, let's get on the road. Oh, we're on the road. Well, howdy ho, good neighbor. It is apparent that I made it. That's right. I made it to the first visitor center, and I don't know if this is the last spot that I can go, but you could see that behind me is let's do a little pan around. I'll show you where I'm at. Yeah, the reason I say that, this is all the tourists have stopped here for some reason. You could see the wind's not blowing too good right there. So this is almost a perfect day, except for those clouds. But as you can see, we might get lucky here. We might just get lucky. We're gonna keep going down that road. But those clouds are starting to peek open a little bit, aren't they? Sure does look at it, but here's what I wanted to show you. This is why I'm walking down here. You can still see that river. Just imagine all of that mud and dirt and trees flowing all the way down this river. This river is still barren down there. You can see that all that stuff down there is all new growth, but all this is what it used to look like. You see that? So this whole land was charred like that. Excuse me. But Mt Saint Helens is just sleeping right behind those clouds. So we're just gonna have to keep an eye on it today. This is about as good as I can get, but I do want to go down and see the charred land that's down there. But this whole valley was charred like that way down there. So it's amazing how fast this nature can take back over. Yeah, there she is, peeking through the clouds there. That's probably the bottom part of the massive volcano. All right, let's go ahead and walk inside this interpretive center next to this big rock. I guess they call it that, I don't know. But you can see a lot of people just doing their little, they're just waiting for that look. I don't know if it'll come out today, but I hope it does. It looks like there is just a little bit of clouds that are ready to peek open there. But look at that valley. Just imagine all that. This would not be there. That would have been mud and ash and everything down there would have been covered up. And everything basically would have looked like that. So he's saying we're looking at the back side of the crater. So we're going to keep an eye on it. I'm glad I got to see that much of it, really, because it could be a lot worse. All right, let's go inside that interpretive center and see what we can see. But yeah, they got a little bit of everything down here. If you don't like heights or cliffs, well, this is probably not the place for you. All right, the door is locked to the key. Now, this might be as close as I can get. You know, that road is closed. So you never know what is going to be up here. It says elk viewing. So if you want to view some elk, oh, look at, they got a viewing section way up there. But I want to go inside here real quick and see what's in the exhibits. And I do have a little bit of tip money that they didn't compensate. Open daily, 10 a.m. Now, is that crater coming out? I don't know. We'll keep an eye on it. Keep an eye on it. And the gift shop is open till 4 every day. All right, this is beautiful. Mt Saint Helens puzzle. Hello.
Hello, how are you?
Very good, thank you.
Good. Would you like to sign in?
Oh, I'm okay with it. Thank you so much. So if you look around, you can see elk in these forests. So basically what this is just a gift shop with the people who work here. You can buy walking sticks and see what the forest was. Okay. Well, a whole bunch of Who Shot John, really. You can watch stories about where people were. Okay, here you go. Yeah. I thought it would show the explosion.
We haven't seen this one yet.
All right, let's get out of here. We've done enough here. Let's keep an eye on that crater. That's why we're here. We're here for the crater. Oh my goodness. So yeah, those clouds are peeking up. But there you go. This is what it looked like. This is the helicopters that saved it. And there is that valley we were talking about. See how that valley is just full of trees and dirt and mud. So this place was a mess for a long time. You can see there's like, they had to use horses and mules. Oh, that's elk. Elks were all trying to survive here. Okay, so that's what the mountain did. It blew its top, and that's what the trees look like all around here. Just blew them over. All right, there you go. That is the old mill. So yeah, they had Mima's tree nursery right there. So this is basically the whole area of what happened and how all the rivers got washed out, and even that train tunnel, wherever that is, got washed out. All right, this video is getting a little long, Let's make our way through here. But this is what you're gonna see. These are the messes at this, that is the ash. That's what the forest looked like. Complete devastation. So these guys went and planted trees, hand planted one by one. They replanted that forest. So, and this is what the forest looked like. They had to clean it up with dust mask. All right, let's exit this place and get out of here. Wow, this is what it looked like here. So they got a couple videos of what the mountain looks like today with the top all blown off. Wow, that's a lot of dirt to be moved. And of course it's a little dark in here, but this is a car buried. Wow. All right, look at the devastation of this place. If you can see it, it's dark. The eruption theater begins in that many minutes. Maybe I'll watch it. Okay. I think I'm gonna turn this camera off and watch that show. Cut.
There is no rescue, and I cannot guarantee your life will be safe.
Okay, let's walk up there. It is apparent we just finished watching that little movie of Mt Saint Helens, and they had 2 screens going on, so it was a little hard to film all that. But we got a little bit. I'm going to go see the last little bit of that. We're going to climb up this hill and see what we can see up here before we get to the rest of this trip. All right, so if you want to come to the visitor center, here's a little backyard dining area. Pro tip. Okay, it is apparent that I'm not the only one up here at the top of this ridge. Everybody is looking for Mt Saint Helens, and she is shrouded, but there is the visitor center. Let's do a widescreen. Widescreen, activate. All right. So all of that was just washed away. Washed away. Look at those pretty flowers here. It's amazing. This used to be ash and dust and moonscape, and now it's this. And there she is, trying to peek through. She's trying. We'll keep driving. But I made my way to the tip top.
You won't see many conifers growing there. Okay. You'll see along the river bottoms, you'll see alder and some maple and some of the broadleaf species that come in after disturbance. Like you drove through a lot of red alder coming up here because of the road construction. But you won't see many conifers.
Well, if they made it, you can make it. If those people can make it, you can make it. All right, we made our way to the top of the Visitor Interpretation Center. You interpretate what this means to you. I don't know. All right, well, let's keep going. We got 10 more miles. That's right, the lady said 10 more miles and the road closes. So before I get back in the car, I do want to show the end of that movie that I did not film, where it shows like 10 seconds of the last reveal of what this place looked like. It was pretty astonishing. So I'm going to take you back in and show you maybe the last 20-30 seconds of this movie. Yeah. It is pretty amazing that this right now where I'm walking used to be full of ash and no life. And now look at life is all, Mother Nature is awesome and scary and real. God, you are real. So remember that. Out of good, or should I say out of bad, good things happen. That's the way it's always been in all your life. So no matter how bad it is right now, something's good's gonna come out of it, guaranteed. All right, let's get back in and see the last bit of that movie, and then it looks like that could be lava rock right there. I don't know.
Magma is essentially very straight not having surface, but when it's this close to the surface, what it's doing is simply melting off everything there on the mountain. That's very pristine, tremendous expansion. It's just blasting stuff up. In fact, in front of me, that kind of blast that blew off about a mountain.
Look who is coming out of the clouds. We got to get on the road and see what we can see. That's about as much as we're going to see. Somebody's tired. I know that cry. You need to stop your shit already. All right. I'm glad I don't have to deal with that anymore. I'd like to deal with that. That'd be nice. Well, howdy ho, good neighbor. That's right, I made it. That's right. Mount Saint Helens National Volcano Monument. That's right. You see it. You see it. I made it, and oh Lord, you have blessed me. Look at that, sun is out. Let me go pick you up. Stay right there. Don't you fall. I got you propped up on the rock very precariously. But look who came out to see us. That's right. The south slope of Mount Saint Helens. Let's give a wide view. I'm going to get over here and we're going to get that picture. Let's get that good picture. That's right. Mount Saint Helens right there. You can see that's what blew, the top and the west part. So we're going to go over there and get that perfect little shot right now of that beauty. So the flowers are out to greet us, and the volcano is out to greet us, believe it or not. That's right. And look who showed up to greet us, that van that I wanted to be in. I bet you can rent those or something. But that has air conditioning. Those vans are pretty nice. They have air conditioning, they have toilets, they have cruise control, they have privacy. Did I mention they have air conditioning? Yeah, look at this baby. And of course is the old loud diesel, the diesel truck. Oh, diesel RV. But there she is. We made it, and the sun is cooperating. Look at the top of that thing, is all blown off. So I'm gonna actually stand, do the wide view, get up here. Oh my goodness, look at that. This is the best view you're gonna get of this baby. The top blew off, and all the top is now down in that valley right there. Look at that. We're using that zoom control. This is 40 years later, I do believe. Let's do the math. Oh, it's way more than 40, I would imagine. I was 11, so 46 years ago, I guess, or 45 years ago. That beautiful baby blew its top right here. And look at, the south side's okay, but the north side, all the remnants are right there in that valley. And you can see the side of that mountain right there is where the blast zone is. All the trees were just blasted off the mountain. Wow. Well, I guess this was 2 days of travel worth it. Yes, definitely. I'm glad I got to see the top of it. That is a screenshot. Let's do that. Screenshot. Okay, it is apparent that we have made it. And I'm going to continue to go down the road to the end. I don't think it'll get any better than this though. Let's go finish this video at the end of the closed road. There is another viewpoint up there that is closed because of the rock slides and mudslides, and that's around the bend. But we're going to get to the closed road. I think the observatory is probably right over there. Yeah, if you look close, I think it's over there. So next time we come up here, well, is that it right there? I don't know. But this is about as good a shot as you're going to get right here. All right, let's hop in the car and go see the end of the road where the road is closed, shall we? Oh, he's got a nice camera. Let's go. Okay, it is apparent that I pulled off the side of the road here, not to look at this shrub, but look at the whole mountain is coming out. So I have yet to get to the dead end road, but you can see that it is all out. No clouds are covering it right now. So we're still trying to get to the end of the dead end road. But as you can see here, the whole top of the mountain where it blew off is visible. All right, we got about probably 8 more miles to the end of the road. But if you look up here, this is the blast zone. That's where it all blasted away. And here's that RV that's been following us, that diesel RV. So, I'll see you at the end of the road, buddy. But there you go. Mt Saint Helens blast zone. Well, howdy ho, good neighbor. It is apparent we made it to the end of the road. That's right. I think this is the last stop before you can go no further. So there she is. Hallelujah, Lord. Thank you for this beautiful day. Look at this. I'm going to pick you up and I'll spin you around. I'll show you exactly where I'm at. I'm right here at this visitor center. I think this is the last one before the road closes, so we can't go any further. And you can see in the parking lot, it isn't that busy today. It is a weekday, and there's not much here. So let's go inside this beautiful visitor center. I'm not going to show you around too much. I've already showed you one visitor center today. But this is what this one looks like. And these people are taking selfies in front of it. This one is called the Science and Learning Center of Coldwater. And let's just take a big look at this storyboard and go inside. There you are. You are here somewhere, I think. Johnson Observatory. Okay, let's go inside. Postscript, we are right here at Coldwater. So we're not going to be able to go to Lewitt or Johnson Observatory today. Fail. Okay, it is apparent that I came through this little visitor center. They sell some stuff here. So if you want to buy some stuff, there's the devastation. But here, as you walk out these doors of this atrium, you can see, I just tripped on that thing. I don't know if they want it open or closed. Okay, let's go. Yeah, you see how the trees are just wiped out. That's from the blast of that mountain right there. And look at this lake. What are they looking at? They better be looking at that mountain. But look at this beautiful lake right before our eyes. Wow, look at that. You got the old peaks way back there. And I don't think they allow boats on that thing. I don't see any boats on that. So, but there she is. This whole valley was full of debris, just full of mud and broken down trees. I've said that more than once in this video, but it's just amazing that that thing blew sideways and all that way. See how all those mountains are barren over there? There's no trees on those mountains, but the trees they planted are the trees that are coming back. But that used to be all like this. So that thing really blew away. And those people that were watching the mountain, well, they had no chance. They were camped way up there on that ridge up there. And you can see as soon as that thing blew and they were camping up there, they had no chance. Well, it looks like I got the place to myself, really. Wow, so I can do more of this. When you have the place to yourself, you can actually talk to the camera. You know, a lot of times you don't get to talk to the camera like this because you look like a fool. Even though I always look like a fool, I look like more of a fool. So, and I'm fooling you if you think I'm a fool. All right, look at this view for the last time. Look at the beauty. Beauty, 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 surrounded all around you. As far as you can see is beauty, beauty, beauty. Look at, all you can see is beauty. That's right. All you can see is beauty all around you. All right, Enough of that vain talk. Well, we made it to the end of the road. And hallelujah, Lord, for opening up those beautiful skies with those beautiful chemtrails jetting back and forth. But that is one beautiful lake on this one beautiful day. It couldn't get any better out here. Look at these cliffs. I'll zoom in one last little look at these peaks, as they say, not cliffs, peaks and valleys of this beautiful, beautiful Mount Saint Helens Volcanic Park. Can't get enough of that. And it does look like that is a park down there. You can remember that road I was going to go down? Well, we still could go down it. There is time in the day. But you won't get a view like this, that's for sure. And it does look like there's a boat dock down there, so maybe you can dock a boat. Look at, I'm seeing all kinds of things you can do down there. Yeah. So how do you get down there? I don't know. Probably right down there. All right, well, it sounds like there are people behind me and I need to end this video before it gets too long. There might be a postscript. Here's a storyboard just to leave you what the mountain used to look like and what the mountain looks like now. Look at this shot. There is the original Mount Saint Helens. And there is the aftermath of that awful explosion. What a trip. And that is exactly where that person was on that day. Well, we got lucky today with that sun coming out and revealing the Mount Saint Helens crater. That's right. If you look deep into that thing, you'll look deeper and deeper. That's exactly where it was at, right on the other side of that little brim. And that thing is still active today, believe it or not, very slowly. You never know when she might go again. The amazing fact of Mother Nature. All right, enough out of me, enough out of you. Let's get out to the parking lot and into this thing. That's a screenshot for Squirrel. Screenshot. Postscript. Okay, here's the postscript. Here's the story of this mountain. That is the original mountain. You can see that mountain right here. You can see the bulge in the mountain is so bulging out that you can barely see the peak of the mountain. So that's where it exploded, but that's the bulge that everybody was watching. So you got your original mountain, and then you got the little bulge on the side of the mountain. Got so big it out-peaked the peak, and then all of a sudden it blew the top off and out the side. What do you think about that postscript? So you got that with a big bulge on the side, and the bulge got so big it peaked the peak, and then it blew up. Pro tip, postscript over. Yeah, that's a big one. Postscript script. This was Coldwater Creek. That's right. This used to be Coldwater Creek, and that blew so much dirt off the side of that mountain. It came down, all this mud and dirt formed all in here and created this dam, and this created this lake. So that mud and dirt came down that valley and just sealed up that Coldwater Creek and made Coldwater Lake right here before you. And isn't that just a beautiful lake? You think it was man-made, but nope, it was volcano-made right here in Washington State. Well, this is more likely what you're going to see up here is this beautiful view. And I tell you what, they have enough room for just about everybody here. So it does look like if you come here, they even have a indoor area where you can have like an event or something. Like all this looks like you can have like maybe a wedding or something. I don't know. but there's definitely some chairs and stuff inside there. So looks like you can walk all the way around this thing and not even go into the viewing area. But boy, did I get lucky today, didn't I? Yeah, you can walk all the way around this thing and not even go inside. So if this place is closed, you can still get this view. But isn't that amazing how all that dirt blew off of that mountain up this way, down that valley, and created this man-made, nature-made dam. You could see, he said all that greenery is new. Well, not new, but Mother Nature knew. Mother Nature knows. But yeah, you can still see, one more zoom in. Let's just do one more zoom in before we end this video. And there is still glacier water running through that ash and rock down there. So I would like to take the trip down to the bottom and see some of that rock. We will see. You're all the way up here. Why not make that extra little trip to the bottom of the valley? Why not? All right. Why not? Let's go. Come on, let's go. You won't see that shot again. One more shot. All right. Bottom of the valley. Here I come. Okay, right off of this little visitor center here, you got a hydrant, dry barrel fire hydrant, and you have this wind of change trail is accessible for the handicap. So if you want to walk down there, you can. But I'm driving. Let's drive 55 and stay alive. All right. If you want to walk this, you can. Winds of Change Trail. We're changing, all right. Okay, it is apparent that I made my way down to the bottom of this beautiful lake that was formed by a clear mountain river, was blocked up by all this volcano sediment. And look at, a river still flows through it. But boy, this is a good example of one of those trees getting blasted down. Wow. It's almost wide screen material right there. But there is that beautiful lake. And you can see how big these trees were that were blown down. Looks like this one was all twisted up. So this is a good example of the devastation and the size of these trees that were killed by that volcano. But isn't that amazing? Right there, there is life growing out of a dead tree. That is something to see right there. That's a metaphor. Remember what I said. Out of good, boy, I'll never get that right. Out of bad things, good things happen. And look at how this tree was just totally twisted by the force of that blast. You can almost see it twisting and bending. This lake wasn't here. This is all brand new, believe it or not. Probably less than 50 years old. Well, it is less than 50 years old. Before, it used to be just a stream like this running through it. But all that ash created these trees. So these trees are less than 45 years old, believe it or not. So if you planted a tree 45 years ago, that's what it looks like today. Wow. Okay, well, we did it. We really did it. We made our way from the south side, which was a good, what do I say? A good way, a happy mistake. The south side of Mt Saint Helens. And we thought we were going to the north side. That's where all the action was. But it was best to do it that way because we got to see Ape Cave and we got to see the south side, and today was the grand finale. And Lord bless me with another beautiful day here in Washington State. This state has just rain and rain and cloud and cloud. And look what I got today. Another sunbow. Don't look into that sun, but you can see that there is another sunbow here at this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful spot. You can hear the ducks in the background, and you can see that we made our way from the top to the bottom of this volcanic eruption. Well, as always, I want to thank you again for coming along with me on these Mt Saint Helens adventures. You know the drill. Peace, love, and all that hippie jazz. Bye-bye, everybody. Oh, look at this. Can you hear that duck? Postscript. So on my way home, I came to another pull out. So I'm gonna pick you up and we're gonna take a look right where I'm at this pull out. You can see that a lot of people like to do donuts here and spin their tires. That's not what we're looking at. We're looking at this beautiful mountain that's still showing the bottom, but the top is disappearing quick as we speak. But this is a good look at where we just came from. That's correct. I'm going to do the old zoom in action here as soon as I get to the storyboard. But now we know that that big hump was on this side and it blew all that mountain. Just imagine all that mountain off of there. That's so much mud and dirt, and it just blew. This is a great way to end this video. Look at all that side of that mountain is right there in that valley. That valley used to be deep like these valleys, but not anymore. And you can see that this is where that visitor center was. Remember, we just got done at that visitor center there with those copper roofs. And then after we visited the visitor center, right on the other side of that visitor center is that lake that was made by all that fill and dirt. You can see everything that's lightly green is landfill from the side of that mountain. So there you go, and there is the crater still active today. That mountain is still active, believe it or not. All volcanoes are just sleeping. So there is a beautiful shot, and we got to see the top of it today, believe it or not. A lot of people came up here and thought they'd be disappointed, but that is the crater of a volcano. And the glaciers of a volcano. All right, well, that's a good way to end this postscript. Life returns in surprising ways. Hallelujah that, Lord. Hallelujah that. Little lakes all over the place in this neck of woods. There is no shortage of water in Washington State. All right, well, let's get out of here. Of course, someone parked right next to me and I left the car unlocked, which is not good. There's only a expensive drone sitting there. So I guess I'll give you the full look as I keep my eye on the prize. That car is going, but let's just not be stupid, should we? This is the first time I left that drone in the car wide open. Take a look, last look. Crystal Lake over there. All right. We saw it all, didn't we? We really did. All right, as always, I want to thank you again for coming along with me on these Mt Saint Helens blowing up adventures. You know the drill. Peace, love, and all that hippie jazz. Bye-bye, everybody. Yeah, don't be stupid. Leave your car unlocked. Well, howdy ho, good neighbor. It is apparent that I'm at a disclosed location. That's right. I'm at the first In-N-Out burger in Washington State. Can you believe it? All this area around here is booming, full of business. First is the Costco, and whenever a Costco comes in, well, then everything around that property is valuable. So I don't know what is all this, but I know what's behind me. And if you look, there's no denying those two palm trees and a cross. That's right. That is a signature of In-N-Out Burger. In-N-Out Burger is now hiring. You could be hired at In-N-Out Burger for $18.75 an hour. That's right, they're here soon, it says. So let's just get a a good gander. I don't think I can walk onto this job site without construction hard hats and all that good business. But there it is, In-N-Out Burger. Wow. So I thought I'd walk around it, but that's not gonna happen. So what's gonna happen now? Well, you know what's gonna happen. We're gonna get the old drone in the air, but there you go. Here soon. So yeah, this is the first In-N-Out Burger. And here are the palm trees that I'm talking about. They haven't even been unfurrowed yet. So that's what we're gonna do right here today. They got the pavement striped. All they need is the employees. So here you go. And look at, they're breaking ground here. I don't even know what's happening here. But all this is ready to roar. These guys are working fast. Up here in the north, Pacific Northwest, well, a lot of rain. And rain does not stop these guys. So next time you come to Washington State, they're gonna have an In-N-Out Burger. And I support In-N-Out Burger because that Lindsay that owns In-N-Out, family owned, great business, she supports people that are getting clean and sober. So if you don't like In-N-Out, at least support the cause. She's a great lady. So let's get the drone in the air and check out the newest In-N-Out Burger. Look at that. Yet to be unveiled. But when you go down the highway, there's nothing that says nothing like that. It says In-N-Out Burger. Yeah, it's unveiled there. All right. Pacific Northwest cloudy weather with a side of In-N-Out Burger. All right, drone in the air. As always, I want to thank you again for coming along with me on these newest In-N-Out adventures. You know the drill. Peace, love, and all that hippie jazz. It's loud around here. Just imagine all these cars turning right now for In-N-Out. All right. Oh, look at a windsock. That's perfect for a drone. I wonder if I'm by an airport. Maybe I spoke too soon about getting that drone in the air. They don't usually have windsocks at the Costco. So that's how much the wind's blowing. All right. Yep. One last look. Do you see any fire sprinklers in there? I do, I think. I see them everywhere. Even in my sleep. Well, howdy ho, good neighbor. Today, we're flying high above the newest In-N-Out. That's right, in Washington State. Can you believe it? I was just gonna make my way back to California, but I needed to document the first In-N-Out in Washington State. And I thought I'd give you a little history of In-N-Out. The first In-N-Out opened in 1948. To Harry Snyder and his wife, yeah, all the way back in 1948, 100 square foot facility down in Baldwin Park. That's right. His wife, Esther, she did all the paperwork, and he did all the buying of the meat and produce every day. And in 1948, they introduced that two-way speaker so you can stay in your car and just order your meal from your car. And in 1954, well, they got that famous In-N-Out logo. That's right. That arrow that says you can go in and out. And that replaced the no delay that they used to have. And in 1958, their 10th anniversary. That's right. Can you believe it? That went by that quick. So from 1948 to 1958. And in 1958, they quit serving bottled drinks and became fountain drinks that we all see on their Cokes. And in 1961, the old animal-style burger was introduced. There's those old cross palm trees. And they're coming up in history. In 1961, they used a plain paper lap mats. That's right. The old brown paper bags. They used to use them for lap mats. That's right. For bakery buns. And in 1963, the iconic double-double was introduced. That's right. You could get a double-double for 60 cents back in those days. So try a double-double. It'll work. 1963, he started making his own patties. Before that, he was making them by hand. But a new facility in 1963 increased the numbers of patties this guy could produce. So each chuck was personally selected by Harry. And in 1970, they started introducing characters to their glasses, like Bugs Bunny and Mickey Mouse, or Bugs Bunny, Donald Duck, and Daffy Duck, I should say. And Porky the Pig. 1971, they had those Irwindale drag strip races. That's right. In 1971, some blow, some go. In 1971, they also introduced a list of where their maps were. 1972 was those famous crossed palm trees. That's right, from the Mad, Mad, Mad World movie. 1972 is when those palm trees came out. And 1973 was the 25th anniversary, this quarter century of In-N-Out. And now it had 13 restaurants, all in Los Angeles. 1974 was the first cookout and the first Rose Parade in 1974. And 1974 was a big year. They changed to red aprons. So 1975 is when the milkshake was introduced, and the shirts, those famous In-N-Out shirts, 1975. In 1976, old Henry Snyder, the inventor of In-N-Out, passed away. From 1913 to 1976, he lived a long, good life. In 1979, the first dining room was open. That's right, it was all drive-through until 1979. In 1984, they opened a university to teach all their customers, or their employees, I should say, how to treat their customers. In 1984 is the first restaurant without a drive-through, believe it or not. That happened in Laguna Hills and Mill Valley and Glendale and San Francisco's Fisherman's Wharf. So some In-N-Outs don't have a drive-through. In 1984, they started that Prevent Child Abuse campaign, which I think she's great, that Lindsay Snyder. She does a great job with helping charities. In 1988, the 50th restaurant opened. That's right, 50 restaurants opened in 1988. In 1989, company store opens to promote their stuff. In 1990, Mark Taylor opens a restaurant in West Covina. So, 1990, the Feed the Homeless program comes online. I'm telling you, 1991, the customer service line, they just help. And in 1992, the first store in Nevada opens. Believe it or not, they moved out of California. In memory of Rich Schneider from 1952 to 1993, he passes away. And he did the great job of giving everybody a good experience at In-N-Out. That was very important to him. In 1994, 100th restaurant opens. That's right, the 100th restaurant opens in 641's Livingston Road. 1997, the Westwood Architects Design. That's right. They won an award. In 1998 was the 50th anniversary of In-N-Out Half Century Mark with 134 restaurants. That's right. 5,498 associates working for them. That's right. So they get a free shirt. And in 1999, Guy Schneider finally passed, 1951 to 1999, in memory of Guy. 2000, the first restaurant opens in Arizona. And in 2005, the first restaurant opens in Temecula, the 200th restaurant, I should say. All right, well, memory of Esther Schneider finally died in 2006. From 1920 to 2006. What a long life. Well, that's the memory and the history of In-N-Out. Lindsay is doing a great job running this company, and with all her charities, I can't take my hat off. Well, as always, I want to thank you again for coming along with me on the history of In-N-Out. You know the drill. Peace, love, and all that hippie jazz. Bye-bye, everybody.